Hi everyone, I'm Allison. Thank you for joining me for Where I'm From 246 with Susanna. What have you been reading? I read this amazing book, The Boys of My Youth by Joanne Beard, which is a memoir and essays, which is one of my favorite kind of books. And this is a really, really good one. It's from the 90s, so you may have read it. I hadn't. It was in Jill Chrisman's memoir that I read. She mentioned it as a book that she teaches writing, and that when you teach it, nobody likes there's nothing everyone likes except this book, and I can see why, because it's beautifully written, and it really hits my sweet spot, because I, as evidenced by this series that I host, I am super interested in where people are from and stories of their life, sort of almost just regular stories, because I think sometimes there's this idea that you have to have an extraordinary story to tell. And in a way, I think we all have extraordinary stories to tell, and it's the way you tell it and the way that you let us in to it. So this book is that. So I just was really immersed in it, and I loved it, and I imagine I'll return to it. Susanna's not here yet. And I'm going to try inviting her and hoping that will magically get her here. Hi, Laura. I'm waiting for Susanna. I was just talking about this book, The Boys of My Youth by Joanne Beard, that I just read, that I loved so much and highly recommend. And maybe you've read it. I feel like maybe it's one of these things. Oh, hey.
Hey, I'm here.
You might want to tilt your thing.
Right. Here I am.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if I was doing it. This is my first ever Instagram live. So
it's many people's first one.
Yeah.
Which I think maybe that's good, because then they can feel confident to do it if they ever want to do it, and see that it's whatever, a tool for all.
It's okay. And it's definitely a heroic journey thing. So here I am.
All right.
Yes.
Welcome. I'm glad you're here. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I am. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this. It has been a very good exercise for me, and I'm amazed at how those prompts get you into a place where I haven't been in quite a while. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's kind of extraordinary.
It is. It is. It really is. Yeah, I read it to my husband. He said, "Could I do it?" I said,
Of course.
Of course.
It's for everyone.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just reading a post by someone, was like, what do you do when you just are so full of rage and you can't continue, because of the world? And I almost commented, maybe write a poem. I know it seems so kind of, I don't know, silly, but I think sometimes it helps to just remember.
I do a lot of writing. I do the morning pages, Julia Cameron's art. And so I'm used to kind of just letting it come. But this kind of really, it got me. I hadn't thought those thoughts in so long. Yeah. Yeah. Remember.
It's lovely. I love your background. I know it's just your home, but I love it.
Thank you. It is just my home, but I love it too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
And it almost looks like you have snow.
It's a bed. It's a bed.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where I can go and close the door and have internet. So it's a bed. Someone once said it looks like a throne, and I was like, oh, that's lovely. It's not.
A throne would be better than snow. Yeah.
It's a footboard. So yeah, would you like to read your poem?
I would love to. And I recognize that it's kind of longer than the other ones, right? Does that matter?
I mean, some are long. Yours is definitely long. I really only notice length because I have to put it in the caption, right? And if it's a certain length, I have to split it up.
So I look at it with that in mind. I'm like, okay, I'm going to need to split this one up. But I've had to do it before. You are not the first.
Good. I mean, I could have kept going and going, but yeah. Where I'm from, I am from the square red tin can of Szeged Hungarian paprika. Sweet, not hot. Added to stuffed cabbage, chicken paprikas, and hot dog casserole. Her cooking smells wafted through the pink cabineted kitchen, the domain of Grandmother Susanna, Zsuzanna in Hungarian. Home from school, starving, I'd build stacks of Ritz crackers layered with cream cheese, kielbasa, and liverwurst, chugged down with cold ginger ale. I am from the fringes of white respectability on the border of Bridgeport and Trumbull. The Puerto Ricans drove us out of Black Rock, my mother said. I am from the little white colonial cape with black shutters, 2 bay windows, 2 bushy yews on either side of the front steps where once we found an opossum. The trees on the front lawn eventually blocked all sight of the road. Who was hiding? 3 dogwoods, 2 white and 1 pink, an orange-berried mountain ash, a standout white birch, a miniature ornamental red maple. I have one planted in my garden today. I am from my grandmother's flowers, the rose arbor, the hostas, nasturtiums, zinnias, bee balm. Visitors always got a bouquet. You'd see me hiding under the hydrangea, writing notes to the fairies. I know they read them. I'm from the backyard gathering of family and friends around a wood fire, a salona shutesh, a bacon fry. Uncle Ward jokingly called it grease on bread. It was, but so good. Find a thick slab of bacon, spear it with a knife-sharpened stick. Place a thick slice of good bread from the Hungarian bakery nearby. Put the bacon directly into the flame, and soon it will begin to drip grease. Drip it over the bread, where you've placed a slice of ripe red tomato, thin sliced radishes, chopped green peppers, and onions. Let the drip soak into it all. Burn the bacon, just so, then cut off the charred parts and add them to the bread. Take the perfect first bite. I'm from Edward William, the French Canadian from Berlin, New Hampshire, captain of the hockey team, the chef, the quality control manager, who helped manufacture a small part of the Sikorsky helicopters that went to Vietnam. I'm from his salmon pie with mushroom sauce, his tortilla served on Christmas Eve. I'm from the nice people don't argue family. You cloak yourself in silence and retreat to your room, sometimes slamming the door, my mother, or you descend to the basement, my father. And I'm from, you have to find a husband in college before graduation, or all the good ones will be taken. I found one. It didn't work out. I'm from the shadow of the Great Depression, still lingering. Money doesn't grow on trees. Your grandparents worked hard to send me to teacher's college. Your dad's mom lost her house. Dad had to work in a lumber camp. I'm from Ella, my mother, an admired English teacher in Westport, Connecticut, chairwoman of the English department, Greenfield Hill, students from money. I will never let you be a cheerleader. That's okay. I didn't want to be. I'm from ballroom dancing lessons, piano lessons, going to church, and loving Christmas and Easter, dolls, and a Patty play pal. I'm from getting a piece of sterling silver and a pearl every birthday and Christmas. Now I don't wear them and hardly use the silver. I'm from Tom, my brother, who never fit in and never wanted to. I'm from doing what I was told, the good girl mold. He went west and stayed. He's still there. I don't see him enough. When I was 12, I went to Hungary with my grandmother and my mother. It was grim. It was the first year Hungary was open to people outside the Iron Curtain. Bullet holes in the buildings, People stared at my mother for wearing shorts and driving a car. She was clearly an American woman. I stayed well behind her, embarrassed. We drove to my grandmother's village. There was a wedding winding its way down a narrow lane. The bride and groom were beautiful, the music gay. People were throwing flowers. I still see it in my mind's eye, and I can still taste the cold chicken and potato salad made just as I learned to make it from my grandmother's recipe. I've never been back. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to eat all of those things.
I know it's so much about food. I'm a lot about food, I guess.
It makes me laugh because my husband is very food. I don't know if motivated is the right word, but he just likes to talk about food and eat food. And I mean, I also enjoy food, but it just made me think of him and how he would enjoy all of those. But especially grease on bread. That sounds perfect.
Oh my gosh. And I don't know if it sounds perfect, but it
I
was
mean,
really
I thought
good.
it sounded amazing. Laura just said the food descriptions are mouthwatering, and they are. I mean, yeah. It's funny because if you made that now, like as a sandwich at some artisanal place, it would be like $25.
I
So,
know.
I mean,
Or more. Yes, you're right. And they'd have to put grease on bread on the
mhm,
menu,
mhm,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. It was a big Hungarian custom. In fact, I
Mm,
think it was how the Hungarian cowboys out on the plains
mhm,
used to eat, but
yeah.
we would get together and that would be the core of what happened. Put
Yeah.
grease on bread. Yeah.
Well, I think food brings people together, right? And I think we have an emotional attachment to the foods, particularly that we ate as a child. I was just talking about with some British friends yesterday, root beer, which they don't have, and I was saying, "Oh, you're not probably gonna like it because you don't have any associations with it. You didn't have root beer floats. Like most Brits I know who have had root beer think it tastes like toothpaste.
Ah.
You
But so
know,
did your friends taste it and tell you
They
differently?
hadn't, but they were like, "What is this thing?" And it was just kind of interesting to think about anything really in the end that we're habituated to.
Right.
We we think it's normal.
Right.
And then we go out in the world and
We
it's
have a
not.
different view. You
And
know,
lots of times it's not.
it's interesting because I've always told people I'm not a big cook. I
Mm,
have cooked some of those things I've learned how to, but it's not
yeah.
my thing really. And I always tell people I don't because everyone else in my family cooked. My father, my grandmother, my mother. So I never had room in the kitchen. And now doing this and seeing how much it was about food, yeah, that was true. They were always making these wonderful things, and I didn't have to. Yeah,
Which is also lovely. I mean,
it
I
is.
love it when someone cooks for me. I
I
think
know.
it's such it's love. I mean,
It
it
is love.
is.
And for all of them, it was absolutely love. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
sharing a piece of themselves and their history
Mm-hmm.
with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how come you've never been back to Hungary?
Well, that's so interesting. All right. So I haven't been thrilled with what's been going on there.
Sure. But now there's
And
all this hope
I
for
know.
all of
So,
us.
and I've kind of changed my mind that I
Hmm.
probably will because so I went in the 1960 something.
Right. Which is astounding because
Yeah,
truly, I mean, I didn't know anyone who started going there till the 90s. Like it started being a destination that people would go
right.
to.
And it was not when we
No.
went. And
Mm-mm.
we went, my mother, so brave, it's amazing, drove us in this little car from Austria to Hungary. And when we got to the border, there are these big towers with guards, standing at the top. And our big memory, and my mother used to joke about it, was I had packed my own suitcase and the guards looked through everything. They opened everybody's suitcase, and they opened mine. And it was the age of when girls wore all these crinolines under their skirts,
Yeah.
and all my crinolines kind of unfolded, and there were paper dolls and everything, and
Mhm.
yeah, it was quite an experience, and I
I would
remember it.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's imprinted on you. I think those adventures at that, especially that, I don't know, that sort of young teenage is really, I don't know if impressionable is the right word, but it does leave an impression. I don't know that
Right.
it changes us in our behaviors, but it leaves an
Yeah.
impression for sure.
Yeah. Well, I know where I'm from. I mean,
Yeah.
my grandparents were from Hungary,
Yeah.
but I really, going there then, I really got a sense of what Hungary at that point was like. Yeah.
Mhm.
And now
Well,
I
it
think
made
it's
me,
very different.
and it made me think too of like sort of this, you know, uh, how America used to be perceived in the world and how it was, and how there are so many people who kind of can't adapt to what is now, and they sort of want that same feeling, and it's gone,
Yeah.
which is good for the rest of the world. Everybody, we need to be a part of it instead of trying not to be.
Yeah.
But it just made me think of that sort of cultural dominance of America, like that your mother was perceived as American because she had shorts and she drove a car and she had rights and she did things,
And women
Um,
in Hungary that at that
right,
time,
right,
that was not what they did.
right,
And we saw a lot of open-mouthed people, look
right.
agape
Hmm.
at, at who that was driving. And yeah,
Hmm.
and as a young person, young girl, I was embarrassed. And I
I
remember
know, that's
that
so funny.
clearly.
That's so 12. I mean,
But it was great. It was such a gift. And now they're
mhm.
both gone. My grandmother, of course, and my mother. And yeah, so lovely to be able to speak about them and speak about that heritage. And my dad, the French Canadian, but he always was sort of on the side because our family with my mother and grandmother living with us was very Hungarian, talking in Hungarian.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Do you speak
French Canadian.
Hungarian? It's a hard
No,
language for
nem
us English
nem
speakers.
bes nem beszélni magyarul.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to tell me about I just was really, I felt transported to,
Hmm,
to your,
wonderful.
yeah.
I want to tell you that this has been wonderful. What you do for people and allow us to do this is great. And again, I wrote you in the email that these prompts just pick you up and carry you back. And there I am eating grease on bread. And I hadn't thought about that in years, right?
Yeah.
So thank you. This is a lovely gift that you give people, Allison.
Aw, you're gonna make me cry.
Well, it's true.
I thank you. I mean, it's a gift to me, which is I think why I keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I I just it gives me hope every week, and sometimes hope is on short supply. So I'm grateful for it.
We need it.
Yeah.
We need all
Yeah.
the help we can
And I
get.
think I was just talking with a friend, different friend yesterday, about how capitalism sort of can make us feel numb to small differences. It's like we have to touch 1 million people. We need to have 20,000 followers or what, that it's not significant if it's a person or two people.
Yeah.
And that's a lie. It's a
It
lie.
is a lie. It's because now we've had this
Right.
connection.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It's a
Yeah.
precious, every connection is precious. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that it's really significant for me to be reminded of that every week. And yeah, the idea of the ripples, and that it ripples outwards. And I think for me, like, Fred first, who created this prompt inspired by George Lyon, and I was talking to George last week, and I was talking to her about this and how much joy it brings me. And she was like, well, Joe Carson inspired me, and I'm sure if I talked to Joe is no longer alive, Joe would say that someone inspired her writing the poem that inspired George that inspired Fred, that it's this lineage of um creative people who are expressing these things that are significant to themselves. And just be reminded, like, I think there is sort of this fallacy sometimes that somebody just like popped out of, I don't know, the clear blue sky and had an amazing original idea. It's just, that's not actually how being a human works.
Right,
and,
right. And I
and let's
think
stop
too,
pretending like it is, because it's damaging.
about our creativity, we think, okay, you sit down and you're going to write a poem.
Mm-hmm.
No, you get people who help you with these bridges of the prompts that have been there for a while, and they carry you. No, it makes it so much easier. So it's you keep doing this. This is going to be everywhere for me. I'm telling everybody.
Well, send them my way too if they want to join me, because I mean, I say all are welcome and I really mean it. I, I, I've never, for a very long time, been a great fan of gatekeeping, but having this experience has really brought that home for me. Like that, lots of times it keeps the most surprising people out, or the ones that you need to hear from out. And
Yeah.
so I'm happy to be in something where I can genuinely say all are welcome, because it means something to me. So I'm so glad that Ellen introduced us.
I know.
Who's
Thank you,
another
Ellen.
wonderful person.
Ellen, if you're listening,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
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 Great. Me too. And
Okay.
I'm going to be tapping you,
Yes.
what, on the shoulder
Please.
too.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was
Okay.
just thinking of that right before we started. Oh, wait, I haven't. Okay. So
Okay.
please do. Okay. Thank you for
All
everyone joining
right.
us. Thank you, Laura. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.